Hey, y'all, happy Saturday. I hope y'all had a good Saturday. I had a good Saturday so far. I had a really good day today. I'm 10 days in on my Pilates, y'all. 10 days in, I've been taking Pilates. I already took 10 sessions, okay? Doing well so far, but I'm glad to see y'all here hanging out with me on a Saturday. Francis, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate all of y'all for hanging out with me on part of your Saturday, okay? Giving me some time, sharing this moment with me. We're doing trending topics. You know how that goes, right? Oh, and before I get into trending topics, last night it was late, y'all. Listen, it was late for me. It was late for Royer. It was late for all the people that was hanging out with us. But we did recap last night, Royer and I, Royer from Royer's World. We recapped the Braxtons last night. It is no longer called the Braxton's Family Values. It's just called the Braxtons. It was actually pretty good. Go back on either my channel or Royer's World and you can see the recap. Appreciate y'all for being there. We will be recapping it every week. We're not sure on the day yet because we got to figure some things out, but we will recap it. But anyway, guys, it's Trending Topic Saturday. I'm glad to see y'all here. And the title is I Will Survive. I will survive. That's our title out there today. Somebody put out there hashtag I will survive. I will survive. And the reason why I chose that title today is because many of you may not know her because she is from, I'm trying to think what era I could say she's from, but she's a singer from way back when, but her name stayed relevant because that song, I Will Survive, is a classic. Nowadays, the people that sing now, their songs are for the moment. They're like, I don't want to call them one-hit wonders, but they're definitely for the moment, okay? They're not songs that will stand the test of time. Now, Michael Jackson, he has songs that will stand the test of time, that people will forever. Come on, Rebels, I appreciate you. Gloria Gaynor was from the disco era. But there are some people out there that made some classic songs that will that long before all of us are gone, they will still be songs that people will sing. Okay. If you know what I'm trying to say here, and you know one of those classic songs that will last forever, throw it in the chat, okay? So we could talk about that. But she sang that song, I Will Survive, okay? And that song, like I said, is big to this day. Well, she's saying that she is now suing her, I think it was the ex-business manager. She's suing the business manager. And the reason why she's suing is because she said the ex-producer, because that producer, she said, owes her $2 million, okay? Owes her money because he kind of stole the copyrights. And listen, we heard this from all of these, people in the entertainment industry. I mean, Diddy did it. And then when all of his artists, royalties wasn't worth a dime, he gifted them back to them. And they was like, it ain't worth nothing now. He done sucked it dry out of every penny they could get from it. Right. So she's saying this producer kind of stole the rights of her song from her and banked off of it. And so now she wants her money, right? Yeah, classic songs, right? Yeah, ain't no mountain high enough that song will forever be like, one of those songs that just never goes away. Tina Turner's, what is it called? I'm going to say Rolling on the River, but that is not the name of the song. But there are some songs out there that will forever be classics, right? And so we're going to talk about Gloria Gaynor and this entertainment industry, which is so shady. And I'm telling you, there are some industries where you have got to find yourself money for a lawyer. And the lawyer has to look over everything. Come on, Proud Mary. Thank you, Rebels. You helping me out tonight, okay? Proud Mary. Yes, Carol. Thank you so much. Proud Mary. Classic. That's a classic song that will never go out of style, okay? So, but if you find yourself in the entertainment industry, do not sign anything until you have a lawyer look it over. So you better put some money to the side and get yourself a good lawyer. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about this Jordan Chiles. Now, she was on the U.S. gymnastics Olympic team. She won a bronze medal. And now they took the medal back. I mean, come on. And she had to turn off her social media. She had to step away from social media because the people were coming for her neck. They were coming for her neck. They was calling her racist names. They were saying that she stole the title, the bronze, from the Romanian Olympic gymnast. They was like just ragging her and dragging her for filth. And you know, I don't get through the wire. Yes, Shaka Khan. Come on now with those songs that are classics. Okay? Natural Woman, Aretha Franklin. Yes. Listen, they dragged her for filth to the point where she said, you know what? I just got to shut off my comments. I got to step away. And she put heartbroken emojis, like she's heartbroken. But her sister came out and had to speak up for her. Her sister pretty much said, keep your head up. And her sister said, they have never in history taken away someone's medal unless they were found to be cheating or they was doping, meaning they was taking some steroids. But they took the bronze back from her. And listen, it's not just about the medal. When you get a gold medal, you get about $22,000 bonus. When you get a silver medal, it's like a $15,000 bonus or something like that. When you get a bronze medal, it's like a $10,000 bonus. So not only do you strip my medal away, but now you taking my money away too. And this ain't her fault. The judges, you know, gave her one score, then they took the score back. It's a hot mess. And to me, the way they should have solved it, yes, come on now. Those Jordan Childs, this is crazy. They need to look at the judges. They were incompetent. Too good to leave you now. My settlement exactly. And the way they should have solved it, in my opinion, was for the first time in history, we're going to have 2 bronze medal winners. Because we messed up. That's how I think they should have solved it. You get a check for $10,000. You get a check for $10,000. You get a bronze medal. You get a bronze medal. I mean, what is the big deal? Go back to the machinery, make another bronze medal, and give it to this girl and have a ceremony, and she stand up on the podium too. But they be playing with people's lives and their mental health. They do. You're going to give her a bronze. She's up there on the podium. She already celebrated. And 5 days later, you're going to talk about, oops. Where they do that at? Oops. They took it back. They always do. Come on. They always belittle the talent our athletes of color exhibit. Look at how they tried to downgrade the talent of Simone Biles. It's horrible. It's horrible. Doesn't make sense. 5 days later, you want to talk about oops? No, oops. Oops, we messed up and they did a fourth of a second. The nonsense. So we're going to talk about it. But if anybody, Jordan Childs, guess what, girlfriend? You will survive. This too shall pass. It's ridiculous. Do you know, on a high level, but we got to talk about this. You know, I really like to do the politics thing, but we got to talk about how they are currently doing Kamala Harris, the VP that's running for president. The Trump behind the scenes is calling her bitch. You I don't care if we work in Target, Walmart, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Burger King, the bank, corporate America. Why do they always treat us females, us women? Why do they treat us this way? And then I heard that J.D. Vance, he just walked up to Air Force One the other day talking about, let me see what I'm about to be, you know, have a part of and be able to fly anyway. I mean, where they do that at? That this constant disrespect. You know what I mean? I saw Judge Joe Brown dragging Kamala for filth. For filth. For filth. But can I tell you this? It is like, it don't matter what the situation is, they dog us out. So everybody got a pass. That's for sure. Let's be clear on that. Let's be clear on that. I got a pass. You got a pass. We all got a pass. But guess what we can't do? I have yet to see anybody be able to go back in time and change the past. It is what it is. So here it is. This woman is in a very important position about to just rock history. She already did. And the best we got is just to drag her for filth and call her names. That video was shocking by Judge Joe Brown. I didn't even finish watching it all because I was just like, I don't even want that in my brain. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Let me tell you this right now. If anybody ever tried to hold you about your past, that's when you know you don't deal with that person. You don't deal with that person. The past is the past. I'm living in the now. That's where I'm living in. I'm living in the now. That's why I told y'all when I'm done with the live, I'm done. I'm done. It's over. It's a wrap. I am done. It's a wrap. Don't let anybody dangle your past over you and try to have you up in shame. We're not doing that. Yeah, Judge Joe, I mean, that I couldn't even, I'm like, why all this venom towards her? I couldn't believe it. Crazy. But yeah, now she's behind the scenes. He's calling her bitch. The other one thinking he could just walk up on her and go up on the plane and do whatever. It's disgusting. But we're going to talk about it. And this trending topic is called I Will Survive. Now, you know what I need in the chat because I'm about to load this train on up. What do I need, y'all? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Saturday night trending topics, and the title is I Will Survive. We got Gloria Gaynor. Listen, let me tell y'all something right now. I told y'all plenty of times before. If I get married, there will be a prenup. If you don't want to sign a prenup, then I won't be getting married. And that's a point blank in the period. You came in here with nothing, you're going to leave with nothing. To the left, to the left. Everything you own is in the box to the left, okay? We got Jordan Childs. She's young. And there are some things that happen to these athletes and the pressure that they got to go through that even an adult that is good and grown will have trouble handling it. You changed my score. I didn't go up there. I didn't go behind the thing to tell the judge this was my score and wrote this and wrote that. Y'all changed my score. You say I won bronze. I wasn't expecting to win because I was in 5th place. She was in 5th place. You change the score, I get bumped up to bronze, and now everybody's coming at my neck and y'all taking it back. That's messy. And we got Kamala Harris. You know, regardless of how you feel about her, who you're going to vote for, send prayers her way. Because this is a lot. We want people to run the country, then we got to protect their mental health and well-being as they're trying to run. You get to just call her any old kind of names. You get to just walk up to her plane and like, where's the Secret Service? Where do they do that at? Let me load this train up so we can talk. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Felicia. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Tiva.
Hey, Julius. Hey, people. Listen,
Hey,
we're in the
y'all.
Saturday
the
night.
music in Kamala's rally in Nevada right now, shoot, they partying out there.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. We're going to talk. Let's get into this, okay? We're going to talk about Gloria Gaynor first because, you know, this ripping off of the people in the entertainment industry has been going on for decades. I'm not judging anybody, but I'm wondering who's going to wake up and be bold enough now and say, you know what? Yeah, I want to act, but I don't want to act that bad that I'm going to allow you to pay me $1 to make this movie. And everybody else on the set is getting $1 million. Yeah, I want to sing, but I'm not going to sign this contract that you're giving me a penny for every sale that I make, and the company is making about $1 million, and everybody's thinking I'm famous and I should be rich, and I'm still living over here in the projects with my mother, and she's giving me money to catch the train so that I can go to my next concert, and I'm the artist at the concert. When are we going to say enough is enough? You're not going to use me. You're not going to abuse me. I'm worthy. I'm going to do the work, but you're going to have to pay me. Let's get into this Gloria Gaynor situation. So I Will Survive, singer Gloria Gaynor sues ex-producer for $2 million. The disco diva claims her ex-producer is doing the hustle. Music legend Gloria Gaynor, best known for the late 1970 global anthem I Will Survive, claims she's owed $2 million after her former producer, Joel Diamond, exploited her copyrights for decades without properly paying her. Diamond has allegedly wrongfully claimed ownership of 8 of Gaynor's tunes, including I've Been Watching You, You're All I Need to Get By, and I Am What I Am, as per a record deal the two signed in 1983. Gaynor said in a Manhattan federal court lawsuit. The two-time Grammy winner and Newark, New Jersey native will not lie down over the alleged fraud. Now, I didn't know she was from Newark, New Jersey. Well, holla to Gloria, okay? Does she still live in Jersey? I may have to go talk to her, okay? So I Will Survive, which was originally released on the B-side to Gaynor's cover of the Righteous Brothers Substitute, went on to become her first and only #1 hit. Like I said, a lot of people sing that song to this day. I want to say Jennifer Hudson. I forgot where she sung it at. I don't know if it was on American Idol. I can't remember, but Jennifer Hudson. So many people, cover this song. Diamond even had the Stones to register himself as a co-author of at least one song. Gaynor said in court papers, added at no time did Gaynor write a song with Diamond. To her knowledge, Diamond has never been a songwriter. Since the inception of the alleged recording agreement, despite Gaynor's repeated requests for an accounting thereof, defendants have failed to pay any royalties, provide transparency as to who Gaynor's music was licensed to, or any demonstration that Gaynor's music was protected, she said in the litigation. Gaynor is 80 and co-plaintiff Robin Randall, a songwriter who has a separate copyright beef with Diamond, are seeking royalties owed for the court to terminate their respective contracts with Diamond. Randall alleges Diamond's pressured her ailing mother and co-writer Judith Randall in 2000 into signing over ownership of songs the duo composed without her knowledge. The elder Randall died in 2002. Gaynor signed a record deal with producer Joel Diamond above in 1983. According to court papers, Diamond is now a defendant in the Saints lawsuit. And that is a picture of her in younger days. Listen, this is going way back. This is a side note. I don't know if y'all remember when they used to cover a living room furniture with plastic slip covers so it would not get messed up. Okay, that's what that picture
I live that life, Diva. I live that life.
Come on now, right? The named defendants in the lawsuits, which alleges breach of contract, copyright infringement, and fraud, include Diamond Control Companies, Joel Diamond Entertainment, Silver Blue Productions, and Ocean Blue Music. Gloria Gaynor and Robin Randall are prominent examples of the exploitation and abuse suffered by legacy music artists at the hands of industry insiders and record companies. The attorney, Vivian R. Durhan, told the Post, adding, "We fully expect to attain justice for our clients." Diamond called the allegation discriminatory false. The written contract is very clear and has been in place for 40 years. Could you imagine 40 years a slave? Sony has acknowledged that I own 100% of the rights. Wow. Any statement contrary to the fact is defamatory, and I intend to exercise my legal rights to the fullest extent, he added. That's Gloria in younger days. It's a great picture. I love that picture. I Will Survive, which was originally released as a B-side to Gaynor's cover of the Righteous Brothers Substitute, went on to become her first and only #1 hit. She revealed the pain behind the tune in a documentary that dropped last year. The song's legacy was secured when it was selected for preservation in the National Recording Registry in 2016. This is very sad. It's just sad. Leo, your thoughts?
Her life has been, I watched that documentary from last year, and her life has been marred with many sad details. I'm trying to remember. I think during the time when she was at her height, she was married to her manager. I want to say it was her manager.
Okay.
And he was making all the deals and doing all the things, and he robbed her too.
Oh God.
She had a substance abuse issue. I wouldn't say a problem, but an issue that was going on, and she wasn't taking care of her finances, and he was abusive as well. So it was a lot of things that was going on at that time. The people was robbing her left and right. They was robbing her left and right. So I'm definitely not surprised with this particular issue that's going on with Gloria Gaynor. At 80 years old, she is suing for $2 million, which is basically crumbs. Yeah. Like, she really, if you're going to go for it, go for the whole thing. But anyway, I'm sure this person owes her, this diamond person, because all the people was robbing her. And he jumped in on the bandwagon. And he got away with it for a long time. And I think when somebody brought it to her attention, and now she's ready to sue, because I really do believe in the substance haze that she was in at the time. And it wasn't just when that song was out, it was during the 80s. And until she divorced that man, is when she got clean. And then her life took many different turns. But with this, yes, I believe this diamond person was doing some shady stuff, and I do honestly wish her the best. And you will survive. You will survive.
I know that's right. And he said it's been in place 40 years. I mean, what a bum! What an arrogant bum! Lena, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Saturday to you also. Thank you. Appreciate you. Felicia, your thoughts?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Greetings to all the night riders. So Leo was absolutely correct. Gloria's had a lot of bad choices. She says her mother gave her really good advice, but she didn't pay attention. And she didn't follow through. And so it's cost her a great deal in terms of monetary stuff. But also at some point in her career, I remember she took a bad fall. And she was semi-paralyzed for a while. So Leo, that might come in where the substance problem was going on, taking pain relievers and whatever. And I gotta agree with Leo that, I mean, $2 million, that ain't no money for some song that's been out here for 40 years and everybody's heard it. So if you're gonna go get your money, go get your money. And if you don't have a good lawyer, get a great lawyer. And please take your mother's advice. I'm sure she's passed on now. I'm sure she's gone on to Gloria, because she's up there in age now. She's 80.
She's 80.
She's up there in age. She's up there with Mama Combs. So one going to the court and the other one going to the jail. Okay, I'm back.
Don't do that. I appreciate you. Julius, you're up.
Now, I know that song. I may be a youngin', but I know that song, okay? Especially, that is like a mecca, especially in the LGBTQ community, okay? Just
come on now,
like, listen here, okay? That's like the Armor song. If you don't know about it, Google it, okay? That song is an iconic song. So to the songwriter, Miss Gloria, get your coin. If Suge Knight can get his coin behind bars, get your coin. If the Orange Doofus can be a convicted felon running for the highest office of the land, get your coin. Get your coin. That's it. That's all.
Okay, appreciate you, Julia. Savannah, you're up.
I want to. I'm sitting back and thinking, which one of us didn't use that song as an anthem for some point in our life when we were either faced with difficult challenges or even rejoicing. Singing "I Will Survive" is iconic. And I think Miss Gaynor has finally, and I agree with Leo, once she divorced her husband manager, who put her through many of the hardest times of her life. I think she's finally recognizing, even at her beautiful big old age of 80, how her own resilience and determination has come full circle. I agree 2 million is just a drop in the bucket. And I think she is absolutely owed so much more, because that one song has spanned over many generations, many cultures, and it can mean, and it has a meaning to so many things, whether it's helping us gain our strength or ask assisting us to rejoice in our triumphs. So I am gonna root for Miss Gaynor, because I know um, she's had it tough since the 70s with overcoming, um I believe, she essayed in her younger years, and then substance abuse as well. So I am going to champion and pray for her that she is given her just dues.
Thanks, Savannah. I appreciate you. Katrina, you're up.
Hello, y'all. I'm with all of them. Everybody, what everybody said. It's totally ridiculous. But back in those days, these women, they didn't get treated fairly. They didn't get paid the same, especially the black ones. They didn't get paid the same as the men got paid. And I think Mary J. Blige and what was it, Method Man, or was it Red Man? Either one. They didn't sample her song "You All I Need," if I'm not mistaken. I think they did.
Okay.
But yeah, I think and
They
$2 million.
did.
They did. Okay, I knew I wasn't crazy. $2 million. That's nothing. Like Felicia and Leo said, from 40 years. I mean, good Lord, and that's all she's asking for, and he don't even want to pay that. That is totally, totally sad. I really hope that she get everything that she deserved. Them women back in them days worked hard, had to work harder, and now she's suffering the consequences of what he's done. I hope she gets some money, and I hope everything works out for her in her favor. That's all I got.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hold on one second. Hey, in my opinion, you're up. Did you hear the first story?
No, I didn't hear it.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
go on to the second one.
Okay, sounds good. Before I do, I just want to play this one thing. Hold on one second. Okay, let's just listen to Gloria Gaynor speak.
Winner, music icon, and disco legend Gloria Gaynor has inspired millions of people with her song "I Will Survive."
Ah, yes, a bona fide danceable hit that was recorded more than 45 years ago, believe it or not. But it turns out that while Gloria kept empowering fans worldwide with its message, "I Will Survive," she faced health, relationship, and career challenges.
And it is all covered in a new documentary called Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, playing February 13th in theaters for one night only. Take a look.
It was a fun time. I Will Survive topped the charts at #1. My fan base growing like wildfire. People were beginning to recognize me on the street. But that girl.
Gloria Gaynor, good morning. So
morning.
nice to have you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So it wasn't just fans claiming this song. I mean, in a sense, it was your anthem as well, because, I mean, you survived a number of tough circumstances growing up in New Jersey and really right on into adulthood.
Yeah. I mean, the song was my mantra first. Even when I first recorded it, I was in a back brace, having had surgery a couple of days, a few weeks before. I had to wear the back brace for 3 months. And so I was singing about hoping that I would survive that injury. And the fact my mother had passed away just a few years prior.
Yeah, but today you're thriving.
Today I'm thriving.
More than surviving.
Yes.
Much more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So fans might not have known the fact that you were in that back brace at the time. Also the fact that this was the B-side, right? Like you had actually gone to record something else. I mean, how serendipitous is that this is the song that ends up being there?
You know, I always feel like God said to the two writers, sit down, write a song, hold on to it, I'm going to sing you somebody.
You win your
That gave me the chills.
first Grammy in 1980. You're named the queen of disco. When that genre starts to fade out in terms of its popularity, what did that do for your sense of self?
I didn't do anything to my sense of self. I started going to other countries, some 90-something other countries, performing and being met by millions of fans all over the world. I always thought it was really quite silly that that thing happened with in the United States with disco music. And I always said, disco music is alive and well and living in the hearts of music lovers around the world. It has simply changed its name to protect the innocent. Or the not so innocent.
Well, it's interesting because as that genre has morphed and changed, the fact is that song still continues to resonate with generations. And you reinvented yourself as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the reason for doing this documentary is so that I can uplift, encourage, empower people to recognize that their bad times in their lives, the trials and tribulations that they go through don't have to define them, that they can use them to help them grow into the best version of themselves that they can be.
And in fact, you didn't find a lot of support. You wanted to do a gospel album, and you persevered, and then go ahead and win your second Grammy.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And my previous management kept stalling me about that idea, saying, when we get the Grammy, we'll do it. When we get a Grammy, as God would have it, we didn't get the Grammy until we did it.
I know in the documentary, fans will see just how much you went through. Tell me kind of how you took care of yourself during that time. I understand it had a lot to do with prayer. It had a lot to do with listening to God.
Yes, and that was it. That was all of it. Hearing, praying, listening, and I think the biggest thing that I hope people get from this film is that it's not just praying, but it's listening. Because we all tend down and give God our grocery list and then walk away without waiting to hear, you know, what it is he would have you do, the direction he would have you go in. And I had to learn to do that.
It takes discipline though, right? To have to listen.
Because he's never in a hurry.
No. And his time is rarely your time. I want to talk a little bit about this chicken a la Gaynor that I've heard about. Because in addition to being a Grammy Award winner, I hear you're quite the cook.
Well, so I'm told.
I can attest to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you enjoy cooking on a regular basis?
I do. Yeah.
And you also studied to be a beautician as well.
That was my first profession.
You're quite the Renaissance woman.
Yeah. Wow. And now I love seeing you and Miley Cyrus's little relationship and the connection of your song and Flowers.
Oh, she's great. She's great. You know, everybody knows she's great.
Yeah.
Gloria, it is always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Don't forget, Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive will play in theaters only on February 13th. Get out and see it.
Valentine's Day. Love
See you
that.
at the movies.
Hey, thanks for watching.
All right, just for those that may not have known who she was exactly or seen her, you could go look her up. You can go probably still watch that documentary, probably find it on one of your streaming systems. But the idea here is just, you know, you got to watch the contracts that you sign. I have a feeling that this ex-producer, he's being cocky because maybe probably on paperwork, even if he bamboozled her and he signed it, I don't know. I'm wishing her well, and I hope she gets justice in this particular situation. So we're going to move on to the next story. This Jordan Childs is, you know, from the U.S. Olympic team. It's very sad. I'm not going to play her whole interview because this interview she did was before the medal was taken away, but it's going to give you some context and the understanding that initially she was in fifth place, so she wasn't expecting to win. And then because they changed her score, it bumped her all the way up to bronze, you know, third place. and this was not her doing. There is certain moves that you do when you do your routines. They automatically, if it's a difficult move or the difficulty of the move, if you successfully do it, you get a certain amount of points. So I believe it was a coach or somebody pointed out that, yo, you might have scored her this way, but did you catch that difficult move that she did? And she did it to perfection. So you got to get the right points for that. So they changed her score. And then now the Romanian team, who was ahead of her before her score was changed, their camp pretty much trying to give you the information, the background, because it may be a little choppy to follow. They come back and said, listen, when you go to challenge your score, you have a certain amount of time to do it. And so they're saying that her people didn't do it in the right amount of time. It's just a mess. It's a mess. And so Jordan, as a result of one, when she got the bronze, right, she said that she got a whole lot of hate online and social media. And then when they took back the bronze, she just put a message up saying, listen, I'm leaving social media. I'm heartbroken. This is too much. I have to leave for my mental health. But you know what? Thank God for the siblings. Everybody out there that got some siblings, shout out to the siblings. Because where she couldn't, hold up herself, her sister stepped in and said, this is a hot mess. She said, first of all, there's nowhere in history for the Olympics have they ever taken back someone's medal unless they, she said, they were cheating or doping, meaning taking steroids or something like that. So this is a hot mess. Let's first hear from Jordan when she won the bronze and how she was doing her press tour. And then we'll get into the story of how they took it back, okay? So let me just lengthen this here. Is this the one I want to play? Oh, wait, hold on. This might not be the one I want to play first. Hold on. Okay, this is it.
Mark win at the Paris Olympics. This is the moment Jordan Chiles won her first ever individual medal in the women's floor exercise final. The 23-year-old was bumped up to bronze from 5th place after judges reviewed her difficulty score. Chiles also earned a gold medal in the women's final team event. Jordan Chiles, good morning. Oh, yeah. Show them off. Oh, my gosh.
Can we
so
look at how Jordan sits? Look at her toes pointed.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Those beautiful socks.
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
So you didn't even expect to take the bronze. Just take me to that moment when you realized that you had the bronze.
There were so many emotions going through my body in that moment. Obviously, there was a lot of commotion, people happy, sad, whatever it is. I was just very happy that I was able to actually have that moment with my coach and, my teammate as well. It was pretty cool.
It must have seemed surreal, though, to go from, oh, I'm so disappointed to, yes, I got a bronze.
Yes, it was a surreal moment. I didn't know what was happening because I saw the score change and I was just like, what is going on? Is this real? Is this happening? And I was just, again, in that moment, just very happy and obviously happy for the other athletes as well.
And I bet you're still processing because you really are on a rocket. I hope you get used to everybody loving you and just cheering you on. But when you reflect, is there a part of you that goes, I did that?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I feel like in that moment where I was looking at, my routine or whatever it was like, yes, I did that. And no matter what the outcome was going to be, I was just very proud of myself because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing for a lot of people, and I got to experience that. And being the last person was even the most amazing thing as well, and I couldn't change the world for that.
For a little girl that's watching, or even a boy who looks at the dedication that it takes, what advice do you have for them? Because there's so many athletes out there who they look like you did as a child and say, I want to be at the Olympics. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of work. Yes. A lot of sacrifice.
Yes, I would always just say, always believe in the power of your dreams. Your dreams are very powerful. Always just be authentic to who you are. Don't let anybody control what you're doing. It's your book. You're writing your own chapters and kind of just pave a way for what you want your future to look like because it's really fun and enjoy life. I mean, we don't have 9 lives like cats. I always say because
we only have one.
We only have one life, so live it to the fullest and just enjoy it.
One of my favorite moments was you and Simone when you were cheering the gold medalists.
Rebecca Andrade from Brazil.
Rebecca. And you were saying, should we bow down? Where did you get that idea from in that moment? I thought it was such classic sportsmanlike behavior.
It made for a great picture.
Yes, but it was
Yes,
so lovely.
I love that picture. Obviously, it was a black podium as well. So I felt like when somebody who has done amazing things individually and also through her country, she's done magnificent within her sport. So I felt like in that moment, she was really the only person who had like a perfect floor routine. So it was well deserved. And as much as she gives the U.S. their flowers, I felt like why not give her flowers as well. And I'm a girl's girl, so I'm always give you your crown whenever like
I'm a girl's
needed.
girl.
Jordan,
Yes.
Jordan, you and I met back in 2021 in Texas, and you were just fresh off your win with the silver medal, and we talked about your relationship with Simone Biles. There you and I are. This is a thrilling moment for me. It's probably got the most likes on my Instagram ever. But you talked about your friendship and your relationship with Simone Biles. Talk to me about that.
There's been obviously a lot of things since Tokyo that has happened for her, from her getting married to her, with Jonathan going to from Green Bay to Chicago. Like, there's been a lot. So just being by her side, seeing her progress, not only in her life, but also within her sport, and just seeing her do everything that she loves. Gymnastics is something that, brought her love and brought her, this cool new excitement. So I think the GOAT fits her very well with, that title. And I couldn't be more proud of her. She's encouraged me. She's had such a huge idol inspiration on me.
We could just say hello, baby goat, to you.
Right,
You are going
Yeah.
back to UCLA.
Yes.
How in the world are you going to go back and act like a normal person?
I think
Those
it's
two
gonna
big-ass
work.
role models. How are you going to do that?
I feel like it's gonna be normal. For me personally, I don't consider myself truly famous. I feel
You
like
don't?
I feel like I have
Got
more
news
to
for you.
do.
Where's the mirror?
I got news for you.
But you plan to go back to
yes,
school?
I plan to
We
go
are
back to school and
all
just
cheering you on.
enjoy the college experience.
Well, round of applause.
Yes,
Round of
Jordan
applause.
Chiles.
You did it.
Ah.
Jordan Chiles.
So that was her exciting moment where, she won the bronze and then it was taken away. Let me just go and bring you updated. I try to give y'all the background so you understood a little bit what's going on. Cause like when you see the article, it's a little confusing. Let me just see if I could X out of this. All right, that one is acting up. Let me just present the screen to another one. And I'll give you a little bit of background as I'm trying to pull it up. Pretty much, is it this one? No, let me maybe go to. All right, maybe I could go here. Okay, I could go there. Yes, a very sweet girl, right? Jordan Chiles, I said this way, says she may use her blonde. She actually lost it, okay? I do need the other article, but pretty much while I'm trying to get the other article to act right, I'll give you the gist of the story, and that is that it was a pointing dispute, okay? And initially when she finished her floor routine, she was in 5th place. There was some talks, and they said she did a difficult routine part of it, and she should have got more points for that. They gave her more points, bumped up to 3. But when they bumped her up to 3rd place, she knocked out someone from the Romanian team. They was not happy, and I get that, right? You're like, wait a minute, I was winning, now you changed the score, and now I'm not. They made an inquiry about that, and now the judges pretty much messed up. And they took the bronze back from her. Leo, your thoughts?
You pretty much summed it up. I say because of the judges, excuse me, because of the faulty, because the judges were at fault for not catching the skill that she implemented at that time and judging her properly on it. That's the reason why the coach had to go in for an appeal, and an appeal has to be made within 1 minute after the floor performance. So the appeal, according to the governing body, who the Olympic governing body, Switzerland body, somebody, it was done within 1 minute and 4 seconds. Then the appeal was not granted, so therefore it reverts back to the original score. And so I don't understand how you penalize the talents, the athletes that performed their duties and earned, and that's the key thing, earned their bronze medal based on a flaw with the judges. Where did you do that at? She did it. She did the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was scored. So, and I'm not necessarily thinking that you give two people bronze medal. No, you don't do that. You set up whatever penalties you're going to set up for the judges that did not catch that skill. You can't judge people and then not have consequence if you don't do it right.
Yeah.
You put it on, somebody need to get fired because they're not good at judging the Olympics. And she keeps her bronze medal. Because at the end of the day, she earned it.
Yeah.
She earned it. Nobody gave it to her. She earned it. She displayed the skill. She executed the skill. It was done with perfection, and it should be judged on that. The fact that the judges missed it, that's not her fault. So, because the coach put in the appeal 1 minute and 4 seconds late, you're going to take her bronze medal that she earned? Where did you do that? And that's how come I don't want to really get in a conversation about the race, even though it is very important. I am basically saying she earned it. And the fact that they're willing to so easily take it away from her is most likely about the race. But she earned it, and I want to get 10 toes down in the fact that nobody's giving her anything. They're not giving it to her because of her race. She earned it, so why can't she get it? And these comments and these racial slurs, and I read some of them, and they are deeply disgusting.
Oh my God.
Okay. They are disgusting. Of course, this young lady will have to take a break from social media because they're dragging her by her baby hairs. They are dragging her. And it's another thing. It's one thing to be able to be criticized domestically, but she's being dragged internationally. And that's a whole nother, in different languages.
Wow.
The thing is ugly. It's ugly. And I pray for her protection emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, because she gonna need it.
Yeah. So sad. Thank you, Neil. I appreciate you. Felicia, you're up.
All right, so thank you, Diva. So, I've been watching the Olympics for quite some time, on and off. It depends on, what season, Winter Olympics, Summer Olympics. I love when Americans go in and perform well and receive, as Leo said, when they earn great scores and go on to place. I think it's real important, but we are now learning how important it is too that your coach know the rules and respond in a timely manner. I think 1 minute is a ridiculous amount of time for a challenge. Absolutely ridiculous. By the time you run back the footage, we have a conversation, we're 45 seconds in. And depending how far away you are, or however you have to, maybe you got to go to an app, because everything's a damn app these days. Maybe you got to fill in an app with the name of the Olympian, the sport, and, to put in a challenge. And of course, you're now at 1 minute and 4 seconds. But to this young woman, it's now become a nightmare. And it's unfortunate. It's not the first time they've taken medals away, and it's not going to be the last time. So that's why I say, speak to your children as the term on the street, pour into your kids, encourage them, let them know who they are. So they don't have to depend on other people to determine how good they are or ungood they are, or how people speak to them, all this social media, all this hate out here. We know that these athletes train for years. Before I'm even thinking about rolling over to get up to go to work, they're already in the gym, they're on the ice, they're out in the hills, they're running, they're climbing. This is what they do. This is what they love. But again, this is probably an area where we're now going to hear more abuse. We've heard it from the gymnastic group. If we can go back a couple of years, how many of these young women in the United States were violated. So, now we'll go to another level of how they're being mistreated by the Olympic Committee and the Olympic Board. So I wish her the best. I'm glad she's coming off of social media like Simone had to do a couple of years ago to regroup and refine herself. And I'm really sorry about what has happened to her. I'm done.
I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. Julius, you're up. Are you there, Julius?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
She earned it. She moved to Simone Biles' hometown in Houston and worked with her to improve in her craft, her skill, and build her stamina. She put the time and energy in. I am sick and tired. Yes, I am both black and white. But I am sick and tired of these so-called committees coming down hard on our people, putting the work in, earning the medals fair and square, but falling for the cat whistles in the tears. Well, go back to your hometowns or home countries and regroup. Take a breath first, but then regroup and then practice. Put the work in. Put the time in. Put the dedication in. Like a certain somebody says, good work, hard work is good work. Remind me to send her a certain something. Hard work is good work. But we don't want to do that. We want to Mickey Mouse it. Miss me with it.
Thank you, Savannah. You're up.
These young ladies, these athletes, in particular, the women's gymnastics team, have been subject to consistent hurtful attacks on social media since the beginning of the Olympics. And what makes it even sadder is that they are also getting it from their own country, their own side. And I have to commend them and applaud them because they have been conducting themselves both on and off the mat or in their sport with integrity, and have not been showing their tail or retaliating in some form on social media. Um, I agree that she needs to take some time off and protect her mental health because that is extremely important. Um, Losing the medal, she will still and always be known as a champion. I'm not familiar with the ruling of why she lost the medal or why the Romanian team um, filed to review the scores or whatever was going on with the Romanian team. They felt that she did not, that one of their athletes deserved it versus Miss Childs. However, she will I believe she'll be flying high in LA in the next 4 years, and will be representing USA. I think Jordan is a strong athlete, a smart athlete, and I love her energy, and she has been nothing but gracious and all smiles. So I think this is just going to make her more determined, just like Simone has been subject to so many vicious and nasty attacks on social media for so many years, and it has made her the GOAT. There's absolutely no one that can compete with Simone in her sport, and she is an amazing athlete. So I actually applaud her, and I can't wait to see her shine in 4 years.
Appreciate you. Katrina, you're up.
Okay. What I'm upset about is why they dragging her. It wasn't her fault. She thought she lost in the beginning. Okay, her coach went down there and had it appealed because the other two Romanians was at a tie. But why are y'all getting mad with her? It wasn't her fault. She thought she won. And if I mean her routine, she did win, but because I think she had like injury or something, and he had to go down there with her routine and whatsoever. But the thing of it is, they dragging this girl, got this girl going off social media. I'm quite sure she's heartbroken, and like I said, it's not her fault. So why y'all dragging her? You should be dragging the judges because she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't go put no pow to nobody's head and told them to change the score. That's the score that she thought that she earned. So they shouldn't be dragging her. They should be dragging the coaches or the people, the judges or whatsoever. Those are the ones that should be dragged. Those are the ones that should be getting the comments online, not her. She didn't do anything wrong, and I hope she holds her head up high. I don't know if the comments coming from United States, Romania, whatsoever, but that's a lot to take on as a young person. That's a lot to take on as a grown person, an older person. So imagine you thinking you won something and they taking it back, and not only that, you getting hate on social media. That's a lot to deal with. So hopefully she pulls through this. I hope she don't let the haters get into her head, and I hope she just keep going forward. That's all I got.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. In my opinion, you're up.
So I think this is a sad story. I think this is something that was supposed to play it out differently anyway. And I think it was never gonna be a chance for her to win. And when her coach caught on to it, I think this was their chance to make sure that she wasn't gonna win. I'm heartbroken for everybody else that's heartbroken for her. Even though the courts have overturned it, it now goes back to the Olympics to decide whether they're going to take this medal from her. And I'm praying that enough people is going to get on their behinds through these social media streets, just like we're talking about it now, and say that this is unacceptable. The more noise we make, the more she'll be supported. I see all her teammates have came out and told her, no matter what happens, you're going to be our gold medalist. Okay. It's amazing to see 3 women of color sitting up there cheering each other on, getting those medals. And for 1 second, I would not say for 1 minute that she's not our Olympic gold medalist because she did her performance. She did it right. It's not her problem that the judges didn't know that she did a difficult routine or not. That's their problem. So if it's their people that did it and the decision falls back to them, I hope they do the right thing and let her keep her medal. I'll give 2 gold bronze medal this time and give both of them 2 prize monies. I don't really care. But to take it from her after she won it, after she's done interviews, evidently y'all filing it came a little too late too, because it should be a time limit on that too. I shouldn't be out here supporting and bragging and bringing the medal back to America for you to try to take it back from me. That's unacceptable.
Yeah. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. In my opinion, I hope, I just hope they do the right thing in this particular situation. Okay, we're gonna move on to the last story. I just, I wish politics could get to a point where listen. Slinging mud has always been what they done, but now I think it's just so gutter low and disgusting. It's just unbelievable, right? When you're calling the opponent a bitch, when you think you could just walk up to the opponent and bypass the Secret Service and just, I don't know, just act like you on the streets, is just crazy to me. So there's been extensive reports saying that, behind the scenes, Donald Trump is losing it, and he's losing it because he was confident that he was going to be able to slaughter. And when I mean slaughter with the debates and everything else. Joe Biden, in the campaign. And so they were never expecting like Joe to step aside, President Biden to step aside, and then that Kamala would be, up and running. He's not ready to, Donald Trump is not prepared to articulate and have a debate against someone that of her stature, so to speak, that's going to know what she's talking about, that's going to be able to come back at him when he says something crazy. So he's kind of like losing it, right? And so as he's losing it, he's calling her names. It's like so much is going on. It's just crazy. And I think there should be some standards on this situation also when it comes to the elections and all that, because now it's just, to me, it's gotten so out of control. So Donald Trump reportedly calls Kamala Harris a bitch. Donald Trump's name calling is apparently getting aggressive in private, because a new report claims he's calling his presidential opponent a brutal name behind closed doors. The New York Times published a piece today diving behind the scenes of the Trump campaign over the last few weeks. And in it, the Times details what they call the foul mood Trump's been in over the last few weeks. Among other alleged angry actions and remarks, New York Times says two anonymous sources claims he called Kamala Harris a B multiple times, and he's reportedly attacking her at donor events too. New York Times reports provide details about the fundraising dinner in the Hamptons, and they say some of the attendees were also shocked about Trump doubling down on recent comments about Harris' race. Let me play this here in case those didn't see it or don't know. Let me see if it'll go through for us.
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me if you
I
would.
just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a Black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she Black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a Black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
Black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a Black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
And
you
I
believe
think,
that
I think
she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some
I
Republicans
really
have
don't
said?
know. I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length. And we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings on that.
Well,
interview.
you told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion.
Craziness. Remember, while speaking to the National Association of Black Journalists, Trump claimed Harris only recently began identifying as Black, comments that landed him in hot water last week. New York Times said he told attendees he still thinks he's right despite all the backlash he's receiving, before apparently going on a rant about Kamala Harris. Okay. Now Trump reportedly using a swear word to attack his opponent isn't unique. Remember, back in February, reports came out that Joe Biden regularly refers to Trump as a sick F. Video evidence seems to show him nearly doing it at a rally. Worth noting, Trump spokesperson Stephen told the Times that Donald Trump has never called Harris a B, adding the campaign wouldn't characterize her as such either. They reached out to Trump's camp for clarification. No word back yet. Hi, Leo, your thoughts?
Let me clear my throat. So Donald Trump is 45. 45 is a master at distraction.
Yes.
So to introduce this conversation, it's basically a patriarchal move. It's about introducing the conversation to folks about who she is and what she is. It is a form of distraction that he interjects in the Black Association of Black Journalists, that to distract and create a whole nother conversation other than policies and what it is that we expect out of any presidential candidate. And it is to create a buzz on things that's just not real. I'm not going to sit here and have this conversation about whether or not she's Indian and Black and when she did it and all this other kind of stuff. Who cares? What I do know of is that when I see the high school photo of Kamala Harris back in the days when she got the straight up Queen Latifah haircut from Ladies First, when she walked into McDonald's to get that job that she had while she was in school, like many of us did, as I did, she can go in and talk about, well, I'm Indian, I'm this and I'm that. She presented as Black, and I'm quite sure she was treated as such. So it is not a thing. It really doesn't even matter. We don't need to have this conversation about what race she is and what she looked like. It's a distraction. Let's talk about the policies, because those are the things. What she is and what box she checks and who she identifies with, I don't care. The policies that she creates during a presidency that she may get voted into is very important, just as the policies that 45 would have if he gets voted into the office. And those are the conversations we need to have. Everybody needs to be very clear about what it is that matters to you. And you decide for yourself what the issues are. You just don't do it on the federal level. You do it on the state level. You do it on a local level, that you vote in people that address your own personal issues and what you care about and the values that you believe. So all this stuff about who she is and what she is, it is the patriarchy. It strikes again. It is all about trying to control the conversation, trying to divert other folks to be able to talk about things that doesn't matter. And I'm not going to engage in that conversation at all. I'm going to enjoy the train. If folks want to talk about that, who she is and what she is. But I will say, at the end of my rants, it is a distraction, and do not be distracted. Focus.
Focus. Come on now. Felicia, you're up.
Okay, so I'm focused.
Oh, sure.
And I'm hearing the offensive language. I'm seeing the offensive behavior, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't want to be referred by anyone with that term, and I don't want anyone who is in a position to be in the public sphere should be referred to that way either. Now, I've heard you, Diva, come up and talk about, well, everybody got a pass. I don't know what people mean when they refer to the vice president of the United States as having a pass, because if you're living in the present, you better believe you have a pass. Mm-hmm. So are we talking about a negative pass, a positive pass, a good pass, an educated pass? Yes, we should be talking about policy. And we should also be talking about the great work that the vice president has done from the time she was Attorney General all the way through to the White House. But what we are getting, and that's primarily from mainstream media, is how she's being referred to by opponents. Mm. And you didn't show the other piece about how she was targeted at the airport. Some people refer to it as her being stalked by the Republican vice president nominee. Now, I think many women, females, have had experiences where you're made to feel uncomfortable in the company of a male who is speaking aggressively, moving aggressively, and has negative things to say about you. And in this case, his running partner, and I believe it, I believe he is referring to her that way. He called Condoleezza Rice that. He called the former Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, that. And I absolutely believe he is referring to the vice president with that language. So when you have this collection of negative energy, demeaning talk, wanting to reduce somebody to gender or race or economics or literacy, and they're males who are supposed to be the premier population in this country, okay? And they're doing this to this woman, well, something needs to be said. So we can have the discussion about policy. So we can know somebody's position on immigration or education or the budget. But until they fix this, everything is going to be of concern. We're going to be
okay. So, but wait a minute, though, Felicia. If you're saying that these issues are important and need to be addressed, they are being addressed as saying, don't get distracted by them because you don't play the other person's game. You play your game. And that's the game. If she indulges in this type of behavior that we all can agree that we know he said that and it is real, if you indulge in that, you miss your opportunity to be able to speak on the things that you really care about. And I don't think the conversation needs to be dragged to that.
So I didn't make myself clear. So if I may, my concerns is for her physical safety, that she is able to engage on the level of policy and position without having to have greater concern of her safety. So that's why I believe it needs to be addressed. I don't know if they have to double up on her Secret Service. I don't know what they have to do, but something has to be done. Oh, here's this footage.
Let me show this real quick so we can all get a little more understanding.
Vance, meanwhile, attempted to confront Vice President Kamala Harris after the two landed on the same Wisconsin airport tarmac at the same time. Cameras captured Vance walking toward Harris's plane. When asked afterwards what he was doing, he told reporters that he wanted to speak to Harris, adding that hopefully Air Force Two would be his soon.
I just wanted to check out my future plane, but I also wanted to go say hello to the vice president and ask her why Kamala Harris refuses. Why does she refuse to answer questions from the media? And I also thought that the press gaggle following her might get a little lonely. I at least have enough respect for you all the American people you report to come and talk to you and to answer some questions. And so I thought her reporters might actually benefit from that as well.
Charlie, yeah, it just seems so rookie. I'm thinking, I mean, I don't like the name calling thing. I think it's mean when Trump does that with people. He's always like little Marco or whatever. Yeah. But I got to tell you, JV Vance kind of fits right here. Your thoughts?
Who thought this was a good idea? I mean, really, to put the vice presidential candidate on this weird stalking routine, and that gimmick was, I mean, it was lame with hair on it. It was just embarrassing. It was cringe. Yeah, it was awkward. In part because, as we were talking about before, I mean, the split screen between this enthusiastic, happy warrior campaign, and then there's JD Vance who bungles easy questions about what makes you smile, and he couldn't even come up with something that made him sound like an authentic human being. And later he was asked by a Wisconsin reporter, why would Wisconsin, I want to have beer with you, and he bungled that. It's like he can't even bring himself to say something, just say something normal about all of this. Now I know you're going to do a fact check, but I also think, look, I mean, I have been critical of JD Vance in the past, and I have a list of words that I'm not going to use on the air to describe some of the things that he is doing, including his decision to attack Tim Walz on his military experience. JD Vance has shown himself willing to do things that would be beneath the dignity of most politicians in America, on both the right and the left. He is willing to say things, to engage in the kinds of below the belt, unfair, dishonest, puerile attacks that I think that most politicians, I think, would say, you know what, let somebody else do that, or that's really not where we want to go in this campaign. But with Donald Trump, sitting in splendid isolation down in Mar-a-Lago, what have they got? They have JD Vance. And they have decided to go as dark and ugly as possible, and of course with the added dollop of cringe that JD Vance always brings to these things.
Well, and that's the thing, and I think it probably bothers Donald Trump that he's willing to say these things. That's good, but he doesn't say them. He doesn't execute, and it comes out very cringy, very kind of awkward, unfortunately for him.
MSNBC Live, Democracy.
Unbelievable. Julia Sherrod.
Okay. So to dispel that she doesn't speak to the press, her team, and she said this herself, literally, I seen it yesterday. She's planning to do a press conference at the end of the month. She walked up to her press corps and said this. She's planning to do it at the end of the month. She said when there is a firm date in place for the end of the month, it will be set up. So, the issues of policy, reproductive freedom, affordable health care. She is planning on attacking the price gouging that is going on with groceries and gas and inflation. She has said that at her rallies. She lays it out. Also, the immigration bill that was tanked by Donald Trump because he wanted a election issue to run on, but it backfired. James Lanford, if we all remember when Biden did his State of the Union, when Biden was talking about it for detail, what was he doing? Nodding his head in agreement. Nodding his head. Because it was Trump himself who said, kill the bill. Sorry. Dead it. I had to fix myself there. She has talked about wanting an assault rifles ban. And we talk about Russia and China, right? I'm not concerned about Russia and China right now. I am concerned what's going on at home. We have a bigger threat domestically right now. Do we all have amnesia about January 6th? Because the policies from 2017 to 2021, the deaded Iran nuclear deal.
Julius, I want to bring you back, right? I want to bring it back to this.
I'm just doing the minimum contrasting if we're going to talk about policy.
No, I don't want to talk. I don't really want to get into the policy. What I want to get back to is the fact of this name calling. You know,
we didn't see it when he was a candidate 8 years ago. We didn't see it. He has done it throughout his time when he was president the first time. We see it now. We're not falling for it. So he can gloat and say this and that, but we see who he is. That's just that.
Thank you. Savannah, you're up.
Well, I'm gonna give my young neighbor here some history lessons. Donald Trump has been name calling since Central Park 5, when he took out a full page ad on 5 innocent young men who had to pay for a crime that they did not commit. Donald Trump has been attacking war heroes such as John Kerry, John McCain, a prisoner of war. And not to say everything that he did against President Obama. I'm always known exactly who Donald Trump is. And as we know, his kryptonite is an African American woman. Donald Trump cannot measure up to a woman that's educated, who has worked her way into the positions that she is currently in, whether it is a news reporter, because how he treated those women on stage a couple weeks ago was absolutely disgusting. And so I've always known who he is. The ones that worry me are the people his supporters, who try to spend some form of normalcy in this madness and in this outside universe where I don't understand where they feel that this is any types of appropriate or even normal. I recall when politics was fun, when Republicans and Democrats crossed the aisle and had conversations, and there was always compromise. But now they're dug into their party. It's all about party politics, and they will stick with the candidate no matter what. However, I think this one is different, and this man is becoming completely unhinged because he has no answer for the energy and what is this excitement that is going on around Vice President Harris and Tim Walz. They cannot do a counterattack. So he goes as low as calling her out of her name. And I believe he is doing that. I know for a fact he's been doing it to other women. So this is nothing new. It doesn't surprise me. It's just disgusting that media doesn't report on it more and hold his feet to the fire. This election is extremely important. Of course, as we all know, we definitely need to go out and vote and make our voices heard as women and protect our rights. I'm just sick that this is where we are today. And I do believe that even Republicans, and I know because I've heard they're sick and tired of what's going on, but they're stuck with this candidate that they have put in position to run for their party. But Vice President Harris is gaining in demographic for white men, and that's something that no one else has done. And according to Pew Research Center, And this report was done last week after her first rally with her VP pick. Her numbers went up to 43% with white men, and that has never been done. And it's because they're tired too of the rhetoric, of the nastiness. And when this man goes up there on rants, he talks nothing about policy. It's all about name calling and just schoolyard bully behavior for someone who's at their big old age of 70, who should know better. And he's also worried because he's sentenced to, or he's due to be sentenced in one of the cases on September 18th. So that's something else that his campaign is worried about. I'm just, politics is exhausting, but we definitely need to stay involved. And thank goodness that we only have less than 3 months to get out and hear our voices, make sure our voices are heard.
Thank you, Katrina. You're up.
Yes, the name calling is totally ridiculous. And for him to degrade this woman, calling her a female dog, is more ridiculous. And when people talk about his policies, he don't even talk about his policies because he's talking about Hannibal Lecter, which is a good man. This man is ridiculous. And I'm not just saying that for anybody that's in the chat or whatsoever. You sit down, you watch him, you hear him. These are the things that he said. He cares about nobody. He don't even care about his nephew. He told his nephew to let his son off. I mean, let his son go off, like die or whatever, because he don't know who you are and move to Florida. What type of heart would a person have to tell their nephew this after he have stole their money? He stole their inheritance. And they're talking about Kamala because she's coming up in the polls. She talks policies when she's at her rallies. If y'all want to hear what she's saying, she talks policy at her rallies. But talking about the plane, how the plane smells or whatsoever, that is totally off base. Nobody deserved that. And I'm quite sure she's heard way more stuff than what she's hearing now. So that's why she don't let it bother her. Because I'm quite sure she got thick skin. You have to have thick skin. Look where you in. You in politics. You have to have thick skin. But he's getting upset because he can't rally her. And every time he go up against a prosecutor, it don't look good for him. So that's what he's scared of, because she's a prosecutor. And ever since he's been going to court, he's been getting ate up by prosecutors. So hopefully when they debate, when she comes out and do what she needs to do, people will see exactly what she's talking about, her policies, and not worrying about if she's a female dog or what she smells like or anything like that. Go with the policies. And the thing with Waltz, he did serve in warfare because he was the trainer. He was training soldiers how to fight. So he was there. That was his job. He didn't have to be on the front lines, but if you go to any type of warfare, any type of war, that's your job. So he was in warfare. Regardless of what he was doing, he was still there. And like I said, there's still no reason for them to talk under her clothes. That's ridiculous and sad. And hopefully, I don't know what the United States is coming to or what's going to happen, but we need a resolution, because basically this is totally sad and sick. And the thing, people saying that the prices, Biden has been working behind the scenes. And a lot of people don't know. This man have been putting in work. He's been putting in work. And when he released those people from Russia, you know what Trump said? He thanked Putin. He didn't even thank Biden. This is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. That's all I got, Diva.
All right. In my opinion, you're up.
So Miss Felicia was right. This man has been spewing this about women for a long time. It doesn't matter if you're a Caucasian woman, an African American woman, an Indian woman, a Mexican woman, whatever you are, he respects no one. He called Hillary Clinton this. He had bumper stickers and flags and all kind of stuff going around about not to let that be in office, okay? That was his first time around. He had people doing that. Condoleezza Rice. Even Kenya Moore, the twirl queen, on X, his last year of Celebrity Apprentice, he said, it don't matter who that be with. She ain't gonna be famous anyway. He respects no one. And for our country to allow somebody that's supposed to be going for the highest office to disrespect women, and we're supposed to look up to you to be our commander in chief, I say no. Okay, it should be policies in place that when you act like this, you are automatically disqualified from the office, because you have to come in contact with not only men, but women. He's done this to men, but instead of saying be to them, he said son of a be to them. Okay, those people is Mitch McConnell, Joe Biden, Barack Obama. The list goes on. This man respects no one. And if we don't put policies in place to have some kind of peace, some kind of something from him, then we gonna fall.
Whew. Thank you. In my opinion, Wayne, you're up.
Yeah, I'm just glad that Vice President Harris is leading a different kind of campaign. You know, while the other side is talking about all the things that Trump's going to do, and everybody's saying, you know, all the things he can do if. She's bringing a different message. She's bringing joy. People are excited. And there's the proof that people are showing up. Arizona packed out the stadium, larger than it was in Detroit. It's bringing a hope to people. With all the BS that's going on and everything, we know it. We know how 45 is. But do we have to talk about it all the time? It's a different message. We rising up above this. In Chile had a dictator. And the dictator was like 45. The same rhetoric over and over again. The opponent started preaching a new Chile, you know, positive stuff. And the people got excited. People that didn't vote and that were helpless about the system voted and got this man out of dictatorship. Okay, so it's only been 2 weeks. You know, everybody got an opinion. She should talk about this. She should talk about that. She can talk about this. I'm glad she's sticking to her plan. She's not letting 45. The debate is going to be September the 10th, whether he shows up or not. He said September the 4th. He's not running it. And that's what he can't handle. He cannot handle this intelligent woman, because she'll fact check him on the spot. He won't rant and rave like he did with other people. And he's just waiting. They planning to get something. They want something on her, Tim Walz, or whatever. It's not working. They don't have a plan. It's not a plan. And I'm glad that people. I just volunteered for Vice President Harris team down here in Florida. So whatever they ask me to do, other than knock on doors, I help them out. But this is what I'm glad. People are getting excited. You haven't seen the Democratic Party this united in a long time. And it takes people to get out there and vote. And this is what you have to do. The people are excited, they're ready, and they're showing up. Vote blue.
Thanks, Wayne. Jonah, thank you so much for this. Give me a minute. Thank you so much for the super chat. She said, I'm in love with President Biden. Stay blessed. Handsome President Biden. Stay blessed. Handsome. Hello, family. Hello, family. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, go ahead. What did you want to say?
I just want to say, I'm not anybody who is right or left. I just want to say because one comment did alarm me when it pertains to the Constitution, but I'm not going to dig into that. I asked people, Google, use the Yahoo search bar, look up social media. I do it even if it's just something to do. Because I have had people in my life who have served, bled for this country, have taken the oath. And do I get passionate? Yes. But when I say in my earlier remarks, I'm more concerned about what's going on here at home. Not that China or Russia isn't a threat. But ever since January 6th, what's going on here at home takes paramount. It takes priority. And so I just wanted to further understand, wanted to communicate where I was coming from.
All right. Thank you so much, Julius.
Diva, may I clear up something, please?
Sure.
Okay, I apologize. So I wanted just to clear up one of the biggest rhetorics that the red is pushing is that the vice president is in charge or was placed in charge of the border. But if you go to whether it's the whitehouse.gov or houseofrep.gov, congress.gov, it clearly states in there that in a meeting with Vice President Harris in March of 2021, the president said that the VP would lead the U.S. diplomatic efforts and work with officials in Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras to stem migration to the United States. President Biden said that when he was vice president, he got a similar assignment from the Obama administration, securing $700 million to help these countries in Central America. President Biden then asked or stated that the Vice President Harris is to be the chief diplomatic officer with Central American countries and address the root causes that make people leave their home countries. The managing the border has always been the Homeland Security Secretary's role. So this rhetoric and notion that they're pushing of her being the border czar is incorrect. So just do your research when you're putting out statements that are not true.
Okay, I appreciate you, Savannah, for that update. We're gonna roll right into the feel good story. So hold on one second here.
Happy. I'm in such a good season in my life. I know how tough it is for me being a former sportscaster, not being there. How about as a former athlete not being at the Olympics? There's definitely a lot of mixed emotions, Robin, when it comes to me watching it. There are obviously some tough times and moments that are hard.
Once considered the fastest woman in the world.
It'll be Marion Jones against Debbie Ferguson. It's the U.S. against the Bahamas.
The 5-time Olympic medalist, Marion Jones, a household name during the 2000 Sydney Games.
Had any daydreams about winning the 5? Oh my gosh. Every hour of every day.
But from her greatest successes came a doping scandal that ended her competitive career.
And so it is with a great amount of shame that I stand before you and tell you that I have betrayed your trust.
Now from her darkest days to the hope she shares today with others through coaching and mentorship, all while proudly living life on her own terms, revealing this truth last month on TikTok.
That I do identify with the LGBTQ community.
Where did you find the courage to let people know that part of your life? I didn't realize it was a thing, really, right? I'm going to tell you, I have been away for over a decade from the spotlight and have been living my true and authentic self. And again, it was my time to just finally be done with the mask and the disguise. And again, it was purposeful. I hid certain things at certain parts of my life because I thought at that time that's what I needed to do.
The all-around athlete made news wherever she went. We followed her journey on ABC News.
Have you ever taken any type of sports performance-enhancing drug?
In the midst of her tumultuous fall from grace. 2 decades later, Marion's gearing up for her second chance.
2008, you're convicted of lying to prosecutors about the use of performance-enhancing drugs. First woman to win 5 track and field medals in a single Olympics. And people want to know, do you feel you could have achieved that without the drugs?
The answer is very easy for me, 1000%. I was blessed with just an enormous amount of talent, but knowing that it didn't need to happen the way that it did always will stick with me as a moment that is hard.
At first, the athlete adamantly denying the allegations.
Trust me, if I had had a positive test, you guys would have known.
Then years later, confessing to taking steroids. Consequences followed. Marion stripped of her 5 Olympic medals.
We disqualified Marion Jones from the 5 events she participated in Sydney.
Marion later serving 6 months in prison for lying to federal agents about using steroids and for her involvement in a separate check fraud case.
You've been out of the spotlight for so long. Why come back now?
I needed to step away. I needed to step away to reflect why certain choices were made, now what, and then now moving forward. When I was in 49 days of solitary confinement, right? And I was sitting there saying, okay, Marion, right?
What got you through in those darkest moments?
I had moments, Robin, where I didn't know what tomorrow would look like for me. This idea that my mom, who came to this country from a small, beautiful country by the name of Belize with these hopes and dreams for her kids. And I was not going to allow my poor choices to waste her dream. Right? Like, again, you could allow all of this to just put you under, or you can use what your mom has always said about you, that you're something special and that you're unique. And how are you going to use your life, your experiences now to help people?
Now Marion's embarking on a new initiative for entrepreneurs, coaching them through life and business mentorship, plus fitness training.
Although many people cannot relate to being an Olympic athlete, an Olympic champion, a convicted felon, everybody can relate when it comes to failure in their lives. And so not only do I coach and teach and mentor entrepreneurs on how to pull themselves up when they're dealing with stuff, and how do you create balance with all of it. I'm loving it. I'm so passionate about it.
With a renewed spirit, the mother of 3 proudly watches the games and no longer looks back at her past.
I love sitting with my daughter and watching Simone Biles and all the rock star female athletes that are there right now. I think a lot of people are surprised when I say that when I watch the games, like it's happy moments that I relive.
What do you think people can learn from your story and personalize it for themselves, whatever their something may be?
I would hope that when people see my story, ultimately, they say, you know what? Yeah, she went through some stuff, a lot of it because of her own choosing and her own choices, but she didn't stay there. And she didn't allow it to ultimately consume her. There were poor choices, Robin, that were made along the way, but I put in work and I sacrifice, and the moment for me can never be taken away.
CEO, the dancers, the band, as they prepare to hit the stage, we ask for your...
Diva, I totally forgot about her.
Didn't you? I totally forgot. That was a horrible time for her. Big mistake. In certain sports, unfortunately, a lot of these athletes get introduced to these steroids, and she made a mistake, but she's a survivor. She survived it all, and she's not letting her past continually just beat her down. So I always felt bad for her during that time, because she was adamant initially that she did not take anything, and then she finally admitted that she did. But it was great to see her, and great to see the love wins. Thank you, Jonah, so much for the super chat. I truly, truly appreciate you. Listen, guys, I appreciate all of you for being here. Listen, keep your head up. Don't let anybody hold your past over your head. You know, it was a mistake. You made bad choices, but you can overcome them and keep moving. I thought it was great to see that, you know, she's doing well. And she acknowledges that, yeah, that was then, but here I am now. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Don't forget, if you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.